Welcome to Danish-InfoNews TV, your Danish English news updates. On Danish-InfoNews TV, you get the latest news and updates from Denmark and abroad, clear, fast, and reliable. On today's news, we look at Wegovy and Ozempic's new treatment and price to stabbings, theft, sexual assault at care home, and Greenland. Let's begin on Friday, August 15th. High Court rules on teenager's rape conviction of intoxicated 14-year-old. On this case, two men aged 18 and 19 have been found guilty of raping a 14-year-old girl at a party in June 2023. According to Ritzau, the Eastern High Court upheld a ruling from the Frederiksberg Court from July last year. However, because of their young age at the time of the crime, the court reduced their sentences. They were meant to spend 1.5 years and 1 year and 2 months respectively in prison, but now is being suspended. We look at Saturday, August 16th. Heavy police presence after mass brawl at Bellevue. Police were heavily present at Bellevue Beach in Klampenborg on Saturday evening after a stabbing incident. According to the police, around 20 people were involved in a large brawl. One was reported injured and was hospitalized. The police made 2 arrests. On a different story, 2 stabbed while sitting in a car in Hornbæk. 2 people were stabbed while sitting in a car on Kongelysvej in Hornbæk on Saturday, North Zealand police told Ritzau. The police are working with the victims to find the suspects. Coronavirus in wastewater nearing high level. The level of coronavirus in wastewater has risen sharply since June and is now in the medium range. The national surveillance report from the State Serum Institute show concentrations are close to the high level category and the highest since the beginning of the year. 2 remain in critical condition after train accident. A train driver and the driver of a slurry truck remain in critical condition after Friday's collision in southern Jutland. The accident happened at a railway crossing near Bjandrup. A DSB train hit a slurry truck. In this accident, a 60-year-old woman was killed. A total of 106 people were involved. 5 are seriously injured. To a different story, 2 got shot in Voldsmose. The shooting happened early Saturday morning where 2 people were shot. None of them is in life-threatening condition. The shooting is suspected to be gang-related and no arrests have been made yet. Police are seeking witnesses to call 114. On a different case, police search for escaped psychiatric inmate. Police are searching for a 42-year-old man who escaped from the psychiatric department in Esbjerg, where he was serving a sentence. Citizens are urged to call police if they see him. Homophobic comments were made towards Rainbow Care Home residents during Pride Parade. This happened as residents from the Rainbow Nursing Home slotted in Nørrebro celebrated its 10th anniversary with a mini parade ahead of Copenhagen Pride. Videos online received both supportive and homophobic comments, which local representatives found disturbing. Researchers and LGBT+ advocates say homophobia remains widespread, particularly online. Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen and Minister Magnus Heunicke joined Copenhagen Pride. Both the Prime Minister and the Minister of Equality joined the Copenhagen Pride Parade, starting at Frederiksberg Town Hall and ending at City Hall Square. On a different story, boarding school introduces urine test to prevent nicotine use. At a school in North Jutland, students are being urine tested for nicotine. Those who test positive are sent home until they provide a clean test. Out of 114 students, 97 parents have consented to the testing. On Sunday, August 17th, we start with crime. Man jailed for carrying pistol in car. A man in his 20s has been jailed for 25 days after being caught with an unloaded pistol in his car in Heslev. On a different gun story, a man from Germany jumped into harbor when approached by police. In Bonse, a German man jumped into the harbor after police wanted to speak to him following reports of a man with a knife. Police later found a firearm in his car and charged both him and his female companion. In a different case, a man remanded for stabbing 15-year-old. After Saturday's stabbing at Bellevue Beach, a 31-year-old man has been remanded in custody, charged with stabbing a 15-year-old boy in the leg. Drunk passenger forces flight diversion to Norway. A flight from Reykjavik to Copenhagen was diverted to Bergen due to an intoxicated passenger. This was the second day in a row such a diversion occurred. On another case of intoxication, drunk driver crashes on motorway, car confiscated. A 31-year-old man had his car confiscated after hitting a crash barrier on the Helsingør motorway while he was drunk. Monday, August 18. Pedagogue convicted of sex with resident at care home. A 46-year-old social pedagogue was sentenced to 10 months in prison for having sex with a mentally disabled woman at a care facility. He has also been banned from working as a pedagogue. Prosecutors may appeal as he was not convicted of rape. Thieves stole MacBook and cat during burglary. A burglary in Nashville saw thieves take a MacBook, a cat, and a litter box. Police later arrested a 22-year-old man and two women, aged 18 and 19. The cat was found and returned to its owner. In a tragic story, man fined after hitting 17-year-old girl who later died. A 47-year-old man has been fined 2,500 Danish kroner after hitting a 17-year-old girl with his car in January in Roskilde. She later died. The man was acquitted of negligent manslaughter. 16-year-old charged after stabbing classmate. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested after stabbing another 16-year-old at the 10th grade center in Skanderborg. Non-Western descendants overrepresented in group violence statistics. A Justice Ministry report shows male descendants of non-Western immigrants are overrepresented in group violence convictions in 2023. However, the ministry warns that the numbers are small and uncertain. Ombudsman sends inspection team to Greenland. This move following criticism of prison conditions in Nuuk. Denmark's ombudsman will inspect prisons, police stations, and local bailiffs in Greenland. Man threatened youth with knife in Copenhagen. A man chased several young people and a bus driver with a knife near Emdrup Square. The man has been arrested. In a crime of stabbing, 18-year-old stabbed in Aalborg. The stabbing happened Monday evening where an 18-year-old man was stabbed in his upper arm. He is not in a life-threatening condition. Students expelled for AI cheating. This happened at Aarhus University where 4 students were expelled in 2024 for using generative AI to cheat on exams. These cheating cases have risen from 7 in 2023 to 22 in 2024. On today's news, Tuesday, August 19th. Russian bomb suspect on trial for Billund Airport scare. Trial begins for a 38-year-old Russian man who caused the evacuation of 10,000 people from Billund Airport last year after throwing a bag and shouting, "Bomb!" He had earlier used explosives to blow up an ATM machine. He denies ties to Russia. He is charged with attempted theft and threats, not terrorism. Truck driver arrested with extremely high blood alcohol. A 40-year-old foreign truck driver was arrested in Getza with blood alcohol level over twice the limit. His truck was confiscated as a result. On a different kind of crime, a 67-year-old man was charged with indecent exposure to children. The man has been charged after exposing himself to children playing in Vordingborg. On Greenland, government to strengthen Greenland's police system. To Greenland, Justice Minister Peter Hummelgaard announced 850 million Danish kroner in funding to bring Greenland's justice system up to Danish standards, including more police and new station in Nuuk. Supermarket locks away meat after thefts. A Menu supermarket near Odense now keeps expensive meat locked up after repeated theft, including 9 tenderloins stolen last weekend. Now to the latest business news. Novo Nordisk lower prices for Wegovy and Ozempic in the US. Novo Nordisk will halve prices for Wegovy and Ozempic in the US for patients without insurance coverage. The new list price will be $4.99 US, approximately 3,200 Danish kroner. Danish crown to produce McDonald's burgers in Vejen. Danish crown will supply burgers to McDonald's in Denmark and the Nordic starting next summer, creating up to 100 jobs across Vejen and Holsted. Wegovy approved for new treatment in the US. The FDA has approved Wegovy for treating fatty liver disease, NASH, in adults with fibrosis in combination with diet and exercise. Novo Nordisk is the first to market such a treatment. Positive US tax news boosts Danish stocks. Vestas rose 11% after US authorities clarified green energy subsidies. Ørsted rose with 2.7% and Novo Nordisk rose 3.5% after Wegovy's new approval. Jyske Bank post-profit dip despite million krona result. Now to housing markets, workers price out of big city housing. According to new reports, ordinary wage earners such as skilled and unskilled workers are increasingly unable to afford owner-occupied homes in bigger cities such as Copenhagen and Aarhus. Greenland to cut 864 million Danish kroner aimed looming economic crisis. Greenland's finance ministry says failing fishing revenue, lower state-owned company income, and rising costs requires cuts and new revenues. Health sector will be spared as much as possible, but job benefits and pensions will be reviewed. That's all for now from Danish-InfoNews TV. Stay with us for more updates and remember to follow for the latest headlines shaping Denmark and the world.